in the time between holidays, we reflect on what has been and what will be.
Do we, though?
No.
That might be like a next week thing.
Oh, no, we're going to reflect now.
Okay.
This is our end of the year episode. It's the end of the year.
It is the end of the year.
There is no more end of the year than this episode right now.
It's true. That is factual information.
This is our Game of the Year episode. This is our recap of things we've enjoyed. And then it is slightly it is a glimpse into the future. Though next week we'll provide a bigger glimpse into the future. This is like a pre-glimpse.
Foreshadowing.
Ooh.
And with that being said, this is the Gamers 2 podcast. Your weekly roundup, our weekly roundup. You know, fuck you guys. It's our weekly roundup of news and commentary related to the video game industry and anything else that might pique our interests. Like, I don't know. Walruses.
Walruses, huh?
Walry.
I don't think that's the plural of
Walrus. Is it just walrus?
Single walrus, many walry. No, I'm pretty sure it's walruses.
Walruses doesn't sound right either, though.
I mean, we can call it walry if you want. We ran with Stadia for its entire life.
We outlasted you, motherfuckers.
That's true.
What? It's gonna be a short episode. Not gonna lie.
Yeah, there's not much. I mean,
there's not much. I mean, it's a calm time of year.
As expected. There's not much really to discuss.
It's time to reflect on the year. Think about what you're gonna do with the new year. That's that's all the insight I got for you.
All right, sounds good. I like it. Works for me.
I'm no philosophizer.
I'm no gynecologist.
Yeah, that too.
Just love saying
I will
things.
Examine you though.
Oh, hey, all right then, and we're canceled. I do always enjoy just saying, if you're gonna do that, I'm no, and then fill it with a profession that makes zero sense in the context of whatever is being discussed.
Yeah,
I'm no zookeeper. Like just.
Mm-hmm. That's fair. You just gotta throw him through the loop. Be like, who's this guy over here? What the fuck's he thinking?
Hey, have
He's crazy.
Have you ever seen this error show up on the PC? I'm no veterinarian. You're like, what the fuck are you talking about? Anyway, here's your new release list. Sports Story came out. It doesn't look too good. So, just a warning.
Oh, really?
Yeah. I fully trusted Ray because he's the one that got me to play Golf Story, and I really enjoyed that.
Mm-hmm.
So he played Sports Story, and then he's like, honestly, it's sad. Gameplay bugs, a bunch of other things. He's like, Golf Story's better. And I was like, oh, man. So I was watching a stream and playing it, and I was like, oh, I see what he means. And then apparently there was a tweet that I saw that I not 100% positive on like how true it is or what it meant or whatever, but apparently somebody hacked the game and found a secret room that's like the little dev room where it's a bunch of devs talking or whatever, and a lot of the conversation of the NPCs in there are, oh man, can you imagine if we made it work instead of just constantly adding more features or waiting for it to be finished and somebody just stopped asking for a bunch of features and yada yada yada. So it sounds like there was a little bit of miscommunication potentially about.
Oh yeah, the old developer publisher
poor management.
Yeah. Here we go. Add it to the pile.
Yep.
A story as old as time.
Tale as old as time. Beauty and the Beast. Alrighty.
Yeah. Where are you?
I'm going right into number one.
You're going into number one. Taking the big one.
I'm taking the big one. I don't know what that means. Number one, Microsoft filed its response to the U.S. Federal Trade Commission's antitrust complaint over its proposed acquisition of Activision Blizzard. The 37-page response covers numerous arguments Microsoft has already made in public or to other regulators, stating a lack of incentive to make Call of Duty exclusive, a desire to grow its minimal footprint in the mobile gaming space, and painting Sony's protests as those of a dominant market leader looking to hinder disruptive innovation that could benefit consumers. That's a very, thesaurus way to say.
Yeah.
trying to keep another competitor down.
The man trying to keep you down.
Yeah, exactly. In it, Microsoft said, quote, Sony may prefer to protect the revenues it gets from more expensive individual game sales, but the antitrust laws do not serve to insulate the dominant market player and its favored business model from competition, end quote. The fun part is that Microsoft took issue with the FTC itself. Quote, these proceedings are invalid because the structure of the commission as an independent agency that wields significant executive power and the associated constraints on removal of the commissioners and other commission officials violates Article 2 of the U.S. Constitution and the separation of powers, end quote. It also took exception to the FTC's practice of having its complaints initially heard by administrative law judges that are appointed by the FTC rather than a judge from the federal circuit and district court system. Beyond its arguments, Microsoft also acknowledged in its response that it intends to make 3 future ZeniMax titles exclusive to Xbox and PCs, while the names of those games were redacted. Microsoft said all 3, quote, are designed to be played primarily alone or in small groups, end quote. It contrasted that to Call of Duty, saying the Activision shooter was a more analogous to ZeniMax games. It has it's gonna bug me. It has continued to support on multiple platforms like Fallout 76 or Elder Scrolls Online. Quote, because these games are designed to be played together by broad communities of gamers on different platforms, end quote. So basically, Microsoft with one middle finger to Sony and another one to the FTC.
I appreciate their way of arguing because it's like completely logical. But I feel like at some point they're going to break and be like, we're literally doing everything right. What do you people want from us? But, yeah.
There'll definitely be some of that. I do enjoy always in any legal battle that they just decide to go, based on Article 2 of blah, 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 you're in trouble. And you're like, what?
You know what? Actually, I think I'm going to sue you.
Oh, you want to? No. Now you're in trouble. You shouldn't have opened your mouth and just let this happen. But now, problems. Which they're not wrong.
Yeah.
There are definitely some weird... We talked about it before. Money works.
Yeah.
And when money can skirt laws, that's here we go.
Yep. Although it's an interesting approach unless they're just like if whoever's lining pockets, or if they're just like, shaking down Microsoft, being like, hey, this can all go away with a rather large donation to the FTC, this personal bank account.
They're like, hey, listen, Sony paid us X amount to start investigating you. You can pay us X amount to make it go away. And you're like, you're not extorting us. No, that's not how this works.
I mean, that's basically the government at this point. Just
no,
extortion.
I mean, that is how the government currently functions, is full extortion. But I mean, like, Microsoft's on the grounds of that's not how this should work.
Yeah. You know what I'm realizing now that I'm looking at the 6 articles? There's no like uplifting or like fun news. It's all just like depressing stuff.
Hey, did you like consumerist holidays? Welcome.
All right. That being said, number 2. Well, this one could be, I guess, uplifting to some way, but it's not exciting. Staffers from Blizzard Entertainment's Proletariat Studio have announced that they are seeking to unionize. What?
I don't know. Just that existing and then the Proletariat getting mentioned at the same time.
Yeah. That's a good point.
I know it's not the Proletariat, but you know.
The group of 57 employees formed the Proletariat Workers Alliance. The alliance made the union announcement on Twitter. Some of the group's reasoning for unionizing are a flexible PTO policy, remote work as a permanent option. I know someone else who would like that.
Hey-oh, I'm right here. What's up? My name's Nate. I do a podcast.
Open and transparent communication regarding compensation. Overtime is never mandatory. Policies prioritizing diversity, equity, and inclusion at every level of decision making. And that's it. That's what the list is.
I enjoy the comment, overtime is never mandatory.
Mm-hmm.
Because mandatory overtime is an oxymoron. It's
it
jumbo
is.
shrimp.
Yeah. You're not wrong. You're not wrong.
If you're doing overtime, you've fucked up.
I don't know. I tried to think of like how I would respond if someone told me I had to do mandatory overtime.
I'd probably, depending on the scenario, there'd be a few things, because let's be honest, Matt, money talks.
Yes.
So if the conversation is mandatory overtime and you're going to pay me double or whatever
Yeah.
for the time I'm doing over, okay, I can potentially swing that depending on other things going on in life. But if somebody just walks up to me, if we had been in our old scenario, and somebody was like, we're pulling overtime this week, we have to get this done, it's mandatory, I'd go, you can fuck off, and I'm clocking out.
I think at this stage of my life,
then. Okay.
I think I would blank stare them for like an uncomfortable amount of time.
Oh, yeah.
And then just turn and walk away.
Probably at this point, it would be very similar to that, where, because the conversation has come up with my boss, not about mandatory overtime, but just like we've discussed like work ethics.
Yeah.
And you know, she is older than me by X amount of years, and there's another guy in the team that's the same way. And we have the whole joke of like, oh, you know, well, stuff just had to get done, and I'm like, yeah, and I stopped working at 5. It will be here tomorrow. Like, I'm not.
It's funny. I had a similar conversation about that, about how like people who talk about work outside of work.
Yeah.
And my response was, I was like, I don't know, man. I guess I'm one of those people that has the switch. When I walk out of here at 4:00, I'm like, I work somewheres.
Yeah. Like there was it goes back to, we've discussed this before. Are we even talking about the topic anymore? It doesn't matter.
Yeah, it's fine.
I guess tangentially, but we've talked about this on the podcast before, where I was having a part of, and I don't know if this is other. Amassing everything else that went wrong at Target.
Yeah.
Part of the downfall of my mental and self at Target was I was friends with you, like everybody else. So we'd go home and then play games together.
And just bitch about work.
So you never left work because you were working and then hanging out with the people that you worked with.
Yeah.
And so always there was just a cycle of, oh man, you wouldn't believe what the manager did tonight, and yada. And I'm like, great, now I know what I have to deal with at 8 a.m. I'm gonna be pissed.
That's gonna be bothering me all night. And then it's like you wake up and you're like, fuck.
So there was never a separation. And then immediately I go work where I do now. And it's like, I talk to a couple people like outside of work. I don't play games with them. I don't really hang out with them. There's no, like, I enjoy working with them. They're good, good coworkers. I would go grab a beer if they wanted to or whatever, but it's just like, for the most part, separation.
Yeah, separation of church and state.
I leave. We're done.
Yeah,
that's it. There's no constant loop. And yeah, they were talking about like, oh yeah, you know, I'd have to stay late and just get things done. I was like, no,
you don't.
I was like, I left at 5, or you know, whatever, or. Okay, I had to stay late tonight and get things done. I am now leaving early tomorrow. Like,
yeah,
I'm not running a 60-hour work week and then charging only 40 hours. Like, that's not happening.
I do believe that a lot of people's work problems. I mean, this is. I should qualify that statement because money is always a problem for a good amount of people.
Money, yeah, money's a problem. Money's a problem for me, and I'm okay.
Outside of removing the money issue, I think the next biggest problem is people have a hard time having a healthy work-life balance.
I think there's definitely that, and then I think there's, because you know, sure, it's different on like the commercial side. If you're for IT anyway, if you're like having to support something that's supposed to be up 24/7 or yada yada yada. But that's where it comes into your management team at that point, to not have one person like, no, you went home. It's now on Terry.
Yeah, there's got to be
like until
there's got to be a hard stop.
Like until you come back in, that person has it covered.
Yeah.
If that person gets hit by a bus, we'll figure something out. But like, you know, no, there should be backflows where it's like, no, I'm not asking you to come in at 3 a.m. because you're the only person here that knows how to do that. Like that can't be a thing anymore. But so many companies are running at minimal things because it's profitable and yada yada, while also wondering why they can't ever retain anybody.
Yeah. I love kind of funny. The Southwestern
The
airline thing.
nightmare.
They essentially blamed IT. I don't know if you saw that.
Oh, I didn't see them blame IT.
They essentially
That is a really bad crowd to try to blame if you're.
they essentially blamed their IT, and I was like, thought it was hilarious because I'm like, oh, this is fucking classic. And someone on Reddit in the news article basically said they were the first one to get out what everyone was thinking, being like, all right, the IT you're currently blaming and using it as a scapegoat right now are probably the same IT that was telling you that your infrastructure needed to be updated like 4 years ago. Like, and you were
Usually
just
are.
like, it's fine.
Yep, usually the case.
Uh,
I mean, there's battles that every IT person faces where they're like, you are running this
mhm.
in a scenario that if this breaks right now while I'm looking at it, you're out with you don't have it for 2 years while I have to like find a solution.
Mm-hmm.
Or you pay money now and we just run we start at least getting ready for when that eventuality happens.
Yeah.
Because that's the other thing is nobody ever wants to prepare.
Transition.
What? Oh God. I don't even know if I like this thing, but like death happens in an instant, but creation takes a bit.
Yeah.
So like the room the machine, the program, the whatever they were blaming, Southwest was blaming their all that can turn off immediately, but it's going to take you time to restore and build back up to what you needed new.
Mm-hmm.
And if you don't do that before the death, that's the problem.
Life lessons. You're welcome.
Do not contact me for your IT needs.
Unless you're going to pay him a lot of money.
You're going to have to pay me a lot of money. Like, a lot of money. The amount that Target would have to pay me to come back.
I don't know if you have that much money.
Yeah, exactly. Target doesn't have that much money. That being said, just to bring up the Target thing while we're here, and we're just waxing poetic because there's only 3 more stories. I walked through the store the other day.
I've heard it's really rough.
I walked through. It was the roughest I've ever seen it. Now, I haven't been in there in probably a couple of years.
Mm-hmm.
That I can remember anyway.
Yeah.
I'm going to say at least 2, maybe 1.5.
Mm-hmm.
It's the roughest I've ever seen it. Worse than any time we were ever there. Worse than I've seen it since I left to now. And I was just like, what are you guys doing?
Wild.
Obviously, it's end of season, so it would have been a 240 end cap reset. Or, well, 240 is roughly the number usually that store had.
Yeah.
I think 3 of them were maybe done. The rest were emptied. Which is also typical certain manager style.
Yeah.
To just empty all of them.
Empty everything and then
pull everything. Then he's going to leave. Expect you guys to push and backstock everything. You know who I'm talking about.
Mm-hmm.
The way I hated to do end caps was with him.
Yeah.
But they look like they're set, but there's nothing on them. There's no labels on them. There's no anything. All of Market still needed to be done. All of Market was empty. One of the worst things to have empty going into New Year's.
Yeah.
And I was just like, what is even going on? And there's still the truck. What are those carts called? The
U-boats.
Yeah, there's a bunch of U-boats all over.
Yeah.
And I was just like dumbfounded walking through there.
Yeah, last I heard 2 things recently. There's several trucks behind.
Which is hysterical to me.
And
how do you get trucks behind? One truck
at one point they were 7 trucks behind.
You get 7 trucks behind.
I
think the most we ever got was like 1.
Yeah. And then we just did a double.
And it was usually when we took 2 trucks when we weren't really expecting one or whatever.
And then the other thing is that the store is getting a full remodel.
Which that I didn't see happening at all.
Like, not like remodel like we did when we worked there, but like a straight up like moving the entrance, like crazy remodel.
The remodel that was always talked about while we were there.
Yes.
But there was no hint of that happening.
Yeah, apparently.
Or at least no hint of that being underway.
Yeah. It was always just like discussion.
Yeah. But walking through it was just like, man, it it did prompt the text. I texted to Matt and I texted to Dewey as well in our group chat, and I was like, honestly, a solid 3 nights at most of doing overnights, and Matt, Dewey, and I alone, the 3 of us would have that entire store fixed, at least with their truck situation and the end caps.
Oh yeah,
because we just move. There's no we just get things done.
Retail is an interesting beast. That it should be like compulsory service retail, that or like fast food or something. Well, the fast food's going away, anyways. So it's all robots now.
Speaking about fast food going away, we'll just continue down this trend.
Sure.
So I was in the Raleigh airport.
Okay.
Over the holidays.
And I got another fast food story I can say. Go ahead.
They had this thing. I don't remember what it was called now. Something locker. Robot locker? I don't know. We'll call it. I don't know what it's called. But they had like 3 kiosks, 3 or 4 kiosks. Typical touchscreen like ordering kiosks. Or they had an app, I guess you could use. And then there were these, I think they were like pink and blue or whatever, LED'd up lockers, like cube door lockers.
Okay.
In the wall. Probably 40 of them. And the way it worked was you either went on the app or the kiosk and you ordered your food, and then it would like ding and tell you what door your order was in. Then you would open it up and get your food and leave. But it was, the whole like humans clearly behind the backside.
Yeah.
I assume anyway.
Yeah.
And
guy behind
there's literal Wizard of Oz happening of just, hey, you can just do this here, and we'll just put the food in the thing, and you just pick it up and leave. And that was it. And I was like, I'm really intrigued, but I kind of need to go get in the car and go to the house, but I'm intrigued.
That is fascinating. My fast food story is, so they're closing all the McDonald's on the Thruway. No more McDonald's on the Thruway.
Really?
Yeah.
That's weird.
It is weird.
Why?
January 1st.
They lose a deal? I was going to say a bet,
I think it was a contract. It was a contract thing.
Because they've been redoing all the buildings now.
They have, and
the Westmoreland one's still not done.
Yeah, so I don't know. I don't know if it clearly was a contract thing, but I'm wondering if there was they couldn't come to an agreement on whatever.
That'd be my guess.
Because they are closing January 1st and being temporarily replaced with like
whoever.
Not even like just like random stuff like your typical like vending machine style.
Oh yeah. So I could see them still probably having a place in there, like a physical spot for a fast food thing until they come to an agreement with somebody type of thing.
Yeah.
Interesting though.
Fascinating.
It truly is. Anyway, that's enough for story time. Let's talk about news story number 3. Oh, I'm pumped for this one. Naughty Dog co-president Neil Druckmann was featured in a recent interview published on the New Yorker's website. The chat mainly focused on the upcoming HBO TV series adapted from The Last of Us, but there was a comment about his next game. Druckmann apparently told the interviewer that his next game project would be structured a lot more like a TV show than anything else Naughty Dog has made thus far. He later clarified via Twitter that he was referring to an increasingly collaborative creative process behind the narrative, thus more akin to a so-called writer's room.
Everyone's trying to move the needle on the video games more towards the
which is wrong. Stop doing that. I can't express enough how incorrect that is. You do not ever want to be Hollywood.
I feel like they are getting so clearly video games as a medium is becoming is mainstream and is getting that mainstream respect and put it on the same level as movies and TV shows, which is warranted, justified, all that good stuff. But these people that make these AAA games are getting mystified by the fact that they're getting recognized now. And they're like, ooh, Hollywood, we can be like Hollywood. And meanwhile, you have these indie games that are making like this crazy innovative stuff.
Yeah. The actual transformative stories.
Yeah.
And the better writing and everything else. And they are just... It actually makes me mad when I read shit like this.
Mm-hmm.
Because I'm just... it goes back to you're so far up your own asshole
Yeah.
that you cannot see the light until you get further up just enough and you see it come out of your own fucking mouth. That's how far you're in your own asshole you are, because it is so bad. You do. Why do you want to be Hollywood so bad? The days of the happy days, gone, way gone. You had your own thing. You had your own kingdom. Why are you looking at the other kingdom over there? You don't need it. You don't need little Pulaski's desk. You don't need it.
That's a reference.
You already had everything. And you were killing it. And then you got confused. Rockstar has had writer rooms for the last few. And you want to know who doesn't come out and say stupid shit like this? And you want to know who writes a better game than you, Neil? Rockstar.
I feel like speaking of that, I feel like we forget how good GTA 5 was.
It was amazing.
And like how that was
10 years ago.
10 years ago, and how innovative that was with the 3 different storylines that you could hop through whenever you wanted to, back and forth.
That also converged and diverged.
Yep.
Not counting all the side missions.
That's crazy. That came out 10 years ago. Holy shit.
Yeah. Yeah, think about that. Our relationship's 10 years old. Think about that.
Longer than that.
No, it's not.
Really?
I don't think it is. I don't think we were 2011. 2012 was a 360 release and PS3 release for GTA.
Maybe, okay.
And then PS4 was 2013, and that's when we all were playing together and whatever.
Crazy.
That's when we all reconverged because you were never on Xbox that often.
Mm-hmm.
Because I other than having your gamer tag synced up, I never remember actually playing with you on Xbox.
No.
Until we all had agreed at that point to do the PS4 switch, and then we just went to PS4.
Yeah, because I was on Xbox, and when I started working at Target, everyone was PlayStation.
Yeah, and I was Xbox, and then
I got a PS3, and then
yeah. 2023 is 10 years.
Yep, nuts.
Wild.
It is wild. Wild.
Does that mean I've known your wife for 10 years too?
Probably, yeah. What are we on, number 4?
That's crazy.
Holy
shit, that means also Dewey, I think.
Yeah, we're all around that same 10-year mark.
Same exact 10 year.
Mm-hmm.
We're fucking old, man.
I know. You don't have to tell me. I was like kneeling on my knees today, like.
Oh, and you felt it?
And I was like, man, my knee hurts. And I'm like, I'm old now. Fuck.
Well, that's the whole joke. When you do, like, when you do floor work, you're supposed to have, like,
the knee pads.
Knee pads, so you don't die.
Yeah. And I just make noise all the time when I move. I'm just like.
Oh, the old. What noise was that?
Yeah, and I also do the, like when I get up and down, like when I move around, I do the grunts.
I do that for definitely getting out of the couch.
Mm-hmm.
I definitely do that because I sink into that couch a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
Or like getting off the floor. Same thing. Just that. Oh.
Yep. All right, number 4. 4 to the floor. In the latest episode of the Digital Foundry podcast, John Linman reported that the Switch Pro was indeed a real project. However, Nintendo ultimately decided against launching the console. Quote, I think at one point internally, from what I can understand from talking to different developers, is that there was some sort of mid-generation Switch update planned at one point, and that seems to be no longer happening. And thus, it's pretty clear that whatever they do next is going to be the actual next-generation hardware, end quote. He later added that Nintendo would be doing a proper Switch successor instead, likely for a 2024 release instead of 2023, though this part is just a prediction.
I mean, I'm not surprised in either part of that.
Yeah. The other contributing factor was that in 2024, NVIDIA's next SoC is supposed to be ready. can't remember what the code name is for it or whatever, but
I
it's
don't either.
it
But
doesn't matter. But
it also makes sense that you wouldn't do, if you were Nintendo, you wouldn't want to do a half step now because you were released before the current gen. So you don't want to do a half step, which doesn't put you on to par with them. You want to do a full step and at least come close.
Yeah.
Anyway, number 5, since this week is short, let's talk NCSoft's next MMO. NCSoft shared a director's preview video of its upcoming next-generation MMORPG, Throne and Liberty. Here's some of what the game producer said. The world which has no boundaries is the foundation that allows players to connect with one another. Take, for example, an underground dungeon with a separate entrance and main area. In it, there are multiple floors and spaces, but we have connected all the spaces together. Open living space. Moving immediately. Wait, what? Moving immediately to the lowest floor is possible. Aid can be given or damage can be dealt to others on different floors. By connecting the interior, exterior, top, and bottom of the dungeon, we hope that players can share this common spatial experience.
They talk a lot about three-dimensional space because I didn't do the whole thing. So like, and seeing the gameplay, the little bit of gameplay with the fucking like flying around and all the weird different traversal stuff, I'm wondering if that's going to be one of their shticks, is the whole like 3D space thing where you can like go between floors easily or like up and down mountains or whatever. I don't know.
It could definitely be interesting. It would be very cool to have a, rather than phased dungeon, when thinking about like WoW terms.
Yeah.
Like, oh, I fight the boss on this platform and then they jump to this one, so I go there type of thing. It would be kind of cool if it was just like the boss just went wherever they wanted to. Like it wasn't timed. They were just constantly like doing whatever they wanted, and you were able to just jump and follow them.
Yeah.
Like, I turned into whatever it was we saw them turn into a bird and follow it up there, and I'm doing that thing now. Like, or the boss splits itself into mirror images, and you guys can just all split and go do different fights and type of thing. Like, it would definitely be cool. It would make it feel more dynamic than just, all right, we're now to phase 2. Now we go to this platform type of thing.
Yep.
The design director of Throne and Liberty, which is the name of the MMO, said that the game features a classless system where the roles are defined by the 2 weapons picked by players. I'm curious if that means picked at the start, like you pick a bow and a gun, that's whatever you are, or if it means like kind of Guild Wars 2 style, where depending on which one you currently have equipped means what role you play.
Yeah, I'm thinking that one.
Which that I could get away. I could be like, okay, that makes sense if it defines your role versus like Guild Wars defining your ability lockage. Annoying. Guilds will fight over control of so-called possession stones. The guild controlling them obtains enhanced capabilities and some necessary raw materials. And that right there means I'm not playing the game.
Yeah, that's kind of isn't that kind of what
it's a little New Worldy.
That's the game I'm thinking of.
I got you.
Yeah.
Me, your MMO expert. Hello. Expert, not export. I do not export MMOs.
That would be interesting. Cash cow.
I wish. NCSoft confirmed that Throne and Liberty is targeting a global release on PC and next-generation consoles, aka current-generation consoles, in the first half of 2023. So, hey, pretty soon.
Yeah, I mean, it did look pretty complete, the little bit that they showed.
I'm always just intrigued to always see a new MMO show up to the space, so
yeah,
if it's free-to-play, I will check it out. If it's not free-to-play, I will watch somebody play it. And if I watch somebody play it, they better not be a PvPer.
Yeah, I don't know why I love MMOs, but I don't actually play them. I just think they're super... I did play them at one point, but I do think they're super fascinating and unique. There's just so much endless potential in them, so...
Oh, yeah. I mean, we know. I have a problem with MMOs. I love them. I adore them.
Yeah.
They're beautiful little creatures, and I want to see them thrive.
Mm-hmm. Only the good ones. The rest of them, we smother them with pillows.
I still want the ones that get smothered with pillows to have the good organs harvested out of them and put all into one creature and make a Frankenstein.
Frankenstein, that's exactly it. Frankenstein MMO. Someone's got to kill WoW eventually.
Whoa, hey, we don't need to talk like that.
But it's the rule of this. It's the Sith rule. You know.
There's always another.
Well, no, you gotta. You know, it's gotta rise up and kill its master.
Right, but there is no like Final Fantasy is the closest yet, and it still hasn't killed it.
I know.
How long are we waiting for Final Fantasy to
until we wait until one comes that can kill it? And maybe it never happens.
Also, Final Fantasy was the Wayward Apprentice. It just kind of showed up and then fizzled.
Yeah, maybe.
So now it's kind of in that like gray area.
New World's like the Darth Maul. You know, showed up for like a quarter of a movie, then got cut in half.
Yeah, but he took at least somebody out with him on the way.
How can we fit this in there? What? Stadia? I don't know.
Yeah, New World showed up and killed Stadia. Because Lost Ark also showed up.
Yeah,
they're closer to like bounty hunters.
Yeah,
they show up and they're just nuisances.
Yeah, because they're not really like a main
threat.
They're
there to take shots at the leader, but they're never gonna kill him.
Yeah. They're like a fad.
Yeah, they're getting paid by other companies to try to go kill.
An MMO is going to come along, and we're going to be like, "Oh man, this might be it," and then Blizzard's going to be like,
"Psych."
They're going to come out and be like, "The biggest update to WoW ever. We've moved everything over to a brand new engine." You want
to know what the biggest thing they could ever do would be?
Hit us with it.
The biggest thing, and it would piss.
We're going to be talking about WoW for a long time. Actually, next story is about WoW.
I know. Well, we're not going to talk about it for this. I don't really have too much to say on that other than I'm happy it exists, but we'll get there.
Okay.
The biggest thing they could do would be a full ground up redesign.
That's what I'm saying. Like that would be like what they would do.
But that means changing the core fundamentals of WoW that I think would be an undertaking that is not feasible.
It'd be like a brand new game, essentially.
Even if they like ported it, the problem is that WoW is a processor game. It's a single thread game. It might be 2 threads now, but it's so bad. Like whatever GPU you have doesn't fucking matter.
Yeah,
your CPU is your throat, and if you just choke the life out of the CPU, you open up Task Manager playing WoW, your GPU is doing nothing. It doesn't matter. So it's like, cool. Please fix that. That would be a great first step, and then also move off of whatever and just ramp the graphics, kill off the tiny people that can't play anymore and go nuts. And it'd be really entertaining. Even then, their graphics have been great.
Well, I mean, I think they're at a point where they could get away with it simply because WoW Classic exists.
Yeah. Leave WoW Classic as that and then make your new version of retail not a CPU-based problem.
Yeah. One could dream.
Dream to dream.
Number 6, more WoW talk. Blizzard has released World of Warcraft Dragonflight's 2023 roadmap. The studio is planning to release 6 content patches, including 2 major updates, fairly evenly spaced throughout the year. Blizzard President Mike Ybarra said, quote, "We're increasing the cadence to which Warcraft updates content starting with Dragonflight. We want a living game that always has an adventure waiting," end quote. WoW executive producer Holly Longdale said, quote, "In planning out the roadmap ahead following the release of Dragonflight, we've been mindful of the duty we owe our players to nurture this living world and, frankly, the need to do better than we have at times in the recent past," end quote. The 2 major updates planned for release next year will introduce new zones, raids, and seasonal rewards. Longdale said that the other 4 updates will include new world events, system updates, dungeon experiences, narrative chapters, and cinematics, quote, "that can serve as epilogues or as prologues to the next major step in the adventure. And most importantly of all, more opportunities for us to respond to feedback and change or add elements based on what we're hearing is most needed by our players," end quote. Any thoughts?
Nothing that's too...
Thoughts and prayers.
All good things. Good that they're acknowledging it. Good that they put it out. But it also means nothing.
Yeah.
So it's it's a good to see them acknowledge that they've fucked up recently and like,
Mm-hmm.
hey, we need to be better and yada yada. But also, saying and doing are two different things.
Trust but verify.
Exactly. So that's just the world we're in.
Yeah. We'll see.
Let's hit up some pretty quick things here, though. The PlayStation 3 emulator RPCS3 is now capable of running every released PlayStation 3 game. That doesn't mean every game is in a playable state, but hey, still impressive. According to ArtStation profile of Frank Alberti, the release date for Death Stranding 2, an upcoming first-person shooter by PlayStation, and Firewall Ultra will be at some point in 2024. I don't think you're getting Death Stranding that quick. Number 3, Ninja Theory is promising dev diaries for Senua's Saga Hellblade 2 in 2023.
Where the fuck is that game?
Which means you're not seeing the game until 2024.
Jesus.
Number 4, the Division movie seems to be on the back burner. It lost one director during COVID, and the current director has a packed schedule, and I think you shouldn't make it.
Ding, ding, ding.
Number 5, one of the voice actors from Deathloop inadvertently revealed that there is something in the works for the franchise, either a sequel or DLC. He confirmed that he is still working under his codename attached to the game. And once again, actors don't know when to not talk. Number 6, next Monster Hunter may be announced during the Tokyo Game Show, so hey, if you like punning monsters. Number 7, Ukrainian developer GSC Game World debuted a new trailer for Stalker 2, Heart of Chernobyl. A little bit more actiony, it seems.
Yeah,
less stealthy.
for sure. Less stealthy and like creepy thriller-esque.
Still radiated.
Mm-hmm.
Number 8, a PlayStation 5 game titled Silent Hill, The Short Message received classification from the Taiwanese Game Rating Board. The board assigned a PG-15 rating for violence, horror, and inappropriate language. Silent Hill, The Short Message has yet to be formally announced. What do you think the short message is?
I think it's exactly what it says it is. A short message that's basically like, hey, we're back. I mean, they've already announced a slew of Silent Hill stuff, but I think this is just going to be like a surprise, like, first.
Foray.
Yeah.
Number 9, Legend of Zelda Tears of the Kingdom Nintendo Switch Special Edition has leaked online.
It's very gold and white.
Hold on. Come here, bud. Come here.
Meow, 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 meow. Meow, 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 meow. I guess I could actually read these. Number 10.
I was just appreciating you doing the meow song for the rest of the podcast.
New Game Plus will be coming to God of War Ragnarok in spring.
Any plans to play it?
No. I do plan on trying to go back and finish it.
I need to still finish the game.
Oh damn! I need to platinum it.
Dude, WoW has sucked me in.
Ooh, sucked him. All right, I can't blame you.
It sucked me in, and I've just kind of been so just caught into that it's like playing anything else doesn't.
Yeah, it's all right.
I need to finish it though. Like,
you're probably really close.
I'm pretty sure I am, but that's why I'm like.
Where do you know what you left off on?
The same thing you saw me doing before. I have to go to Freyr. I know that's where I have to go back to.
Okay, depending on what you do, you might have a lot left. You might not.
Depending on what I do.
Well, there's like a whole fucking area. There's like this huge area to the game that I don't think you necessarily have to do.
I might not. I might just blitz through the main story and then leave that, like, keep it installed and just be like, I can go if I ever want to just kind of. Because I do enjoy the fighting, but I also think that in me enjoying the fighting has also been what's distracted me from being further in the game in certain ways.
Yeah. PlayStation Plus monthly games for January: Star Wars Jedi Fallen Order, Fallout 76, Axiom Verge 2. It's a pretty decent lineup. Tom Henderson strongly believes that GTA 6 will be announced in 2023 with a release date of 2024, but then be delayed into 2025. Hilarious. A complete non-public internal build of Horizon Forbidden West with complete debug-enabled Decima engine build has leaked publicly.
That's interesting.
That is very interesting.
Why would that happen?
I don't know. There's a whole slew of leaks recently. Like old game leaks too. The source code for Silent Hill 2 leaked.
What are they up to? What are you guys up to, huh? You doing a little?
I have an interesting. There's more stuff left, but I had an interesting thought the other day. What's Kojima gonna do for the Microsoft game?
Everybody thought Silent Hill.
No, I mean like logistically, because so far for Death Stranding, and I assume Death Stranding 2, he's been using the Decima engine,
right?
Which you can't do.
But then remember, he made the comment that they had to form a new technology. He was running his mouth about how whatever they wanted to do has not yet been created.
Okay, so you think it's engine related?
I think that
you think they're doing.
I think Decima couldn't do what he wanted.
I'm wondering if he's trying to go down the same route that Jade Raymond's doing with PlayStation and doing some sort of cloud thing, like some sort of cloud engine thing,
potentially. Or he might have needed to leverage it. Like Microsoft was like, we can have a way to do it. We'll use this, and that ends up being kind of similar. But it's just like, yeah. You want to talk about being so far up your own ass?
He's one of them. Sony is holding a conference at CES on January 4th, and it is expected to heavily feature the PlayStation VR 2.
It's funny because still nobody's really talking about it. I think.
I would agree.
I think nobody will until it's actually has a release date, because I think everybody at this point is just tired of hearing about it with no release date.
I have a coworker who is I think they have a release date now because some weirdness happened to where it's February 15th or February 12th or something like that.
Or I guess, yeah, no, I think you're right about that. So I rephrased my statement to say until we actually see it.
Yeah. I have a coworker who also thinks that Sony's being really aggressive with pushing it because the sheer amount of emails and stuff he's gotten about pre-ordering it.
Yeah, they might be aggressive in pushing about it, but like I'm not even hearing influencers talk about it. Like ones that I would expect to be hearing talk about it.
Well, his thing is he thinks that they're not getting the pre-orders they think they should, and that's why they're just like constantly hitting it with emails about pre-ordering it.
But I also, again, back to that's probably true, but I can't even say like all the football I watch and yada yada that I've seen a commercial for it.
No, because
they still
haven't shown
anything. Yeah. So it's Tokyo Game Show is going to be really interesting.
In Blizzard's end-of-year update published on Thursday, it was revealed that Dan Hay has joined the company to helm its new survival game IP. Dan Hay comes from Ubisoft, where he produced Far Cry 3 through to New Dawn, and then creative director for Far Cry 5. Polyphony Digital has clarified that a PC version of Gran Turismo 7 isn't in development. Is not in development.
A what version?
PC version of GT7. Because, the guy made the comment saying, like, oh, it's a possibility. So everyone immediately was like, oh my God, they're doing it.
Yeah.
And he was like, guys.
I said the word possibility.
It's literally a possibility. We're not doing it.
There's a possibility that hell freezes over, but I'm just saying.
Yeah.
Anyway.
That's it.
It's been 7 days. What you been up to?
Nada. I had a really strong plan to play Stray and start High on Life, and I did neither of those because Thursday, after I got home from being here, I went to bed and then was woken up at midnight by the cries of a small child who had a fever. So up until about today, we've been dealing with a sick child, which over Christmas weekend, it was really bad. Its temperature hit 104. And then, we had the long weekend, which he was sick all long weekend. And then since like Tuesday till now, he's been hacking up a lung. So all my plans were ruined as per tradition.
As the cards dictate.
Yep. Got like Friday night, I think. Thursday night, I got like 3 hours of sleep. Friday night, I got about 4 hours of sleep. And then obviously it's Christmas weekend. So, yeah. I mean, I was hoping to play Stray and High on Life, but neither of those things happened. I might skip Stray and just start on High on Life. But, no promises. Simrig came in, sitting in boxes behind the door.
Yeah.
Don't know what's going to do. No plans for that right now. Blind ordered it, realizing I would not have enough room for it. But in a happy coincidence, my overlord, significant other, went on a rant about how we needed to declutter and clean the house. And I was like, yes, we do. Because, naturally I need to make room for this thing.
You're going, yes.
Yeah.
No, do you not know my secondary
Yeah,
plans?
Which they got the text message, the fun text message where my wife thought it would be funny to like. I knew she was being playful, but it was fun to be dramatic about it. But she's like, what is this? What are all these boxes? And
oh, you got the text. Did she tell you that she snapped Dewey and I and yelled at us?
No, that's funny.
She snapped us and sent us a picture of that and goes, did either of you encourage this? And I didn't see Dewey's response immediately. I only saw the image. And Dewey said, yes, we did, or something like that. And I said, I've encouraged nothing. And she's like, I don't believe you. And I was like, I say nothing. I said nothing, or else I would get in trouble.
She was watching one of her YouTubers who's getting a divorce, and I sent them a thing that she's currently watching a YouTube video about divorce as a new parent or a new mom or something like that. And
I was like, yeah, nope, you can't put this on me. Nope.
Yeah. So that's basically been what I've been up to. Nothing exciting, unfortunately. Yeah.
Yeah, so other than being attacked by his wife, nothing
Constant.
Nothing else has been really true for me, I guess. Went and visited the fam over last weekend.
Doing the old travel, and then
did the travel. Had only one travel issue. Managed to get out of New York before the storm hit. Got to DC, and they're like, hey, we canceled your next flight. And I'm like, but why? They're like, why? We just canceled it. I was like, that's not an answer.
They were like, I don't like you.
There was another flight to the same destination 3 hours later that was still on. So I was confused. There was a flight.
Also interesting that they didn't just give you that flight.
Apparently it was full. So I couldn't get on. And by the time I got through to customer service, they managed to find me one single seat left over at Reagan. So I had to taxi from Dulles to Reagan, then go through security, get on the plane over there, and then I was able to make my final destination. So I didn't have to stay anywhere over one night or anything, but still annoying. Yep, down there. Good food. Definitely put on weight. So
you gotta
work it back out. And then otherwise, yeah, just back here now, chilling. I have realized that the amount of fucks I give living alone becomes very evident of about 4 days in to how many I don't give.
Yeah.
That island downstairs has just been cluttered with shit until 3 o'clock today because I was like, I don't care.
Yeah.
Down there, I had enough spot to have a bowl of oatmeal this morning, and I literally walked back upstairs. Like, yep, all right, perfect. I'll deal with that later.
Well, when you're one person in the house, this house is pretty sizable.
It's very much one person. I go, I deal with it later.
Yeah, you can escape whatever areas are cluttered.
The rooms I was frequenting were fine for what I lived in. But then I was like, I'd walk down there and I would just kind of look around and I'm like, I gotta clean this up at some point. That's a later me problem. I just go back and walk out of the room again.
Yeah, that's fair.
Oh, but yeah, so that's it. Max was pumped to have me back. So.
As he should be. Oh, I did kill 2 mice this week.
Yeah?
2 nights in a row.
Bang, bang. Use the oven at one point?
No, I did so what I did is I have the traditional traps that are just, the cliche, wood with the metal spring trap. And I put them inside a bucket that I lay on the ground so that if there is any blood spray, it's contained. First night, woke up, mouse in trap. Great. Success.
Great success.
Thinking, all right, deal done. Next day, more mouse poop. I'm like, what the fuck? Set up the next trap. Didn't even have it set up for 20 minutes. And fucking the mouse. We're still downstairs. We were like walking around the house, going in and out of the kitchen. This motherfucker decides that
Time to go.
Yeah, he's like, all right, I guess I need to commit suicide. And sprung the trap and didn't die immediately. So like
those are the fun ones.
Yeah, he like crawled out of the bucket and was thinking he was going somewheres. So, whatever. And now we're in like the guessing game. Is like, is there a third? Like, is this like, do we got a whole fucking like
fam?
We got a whole family, got a nest going on here? Where are these motherfuckers coming from? So now we're in the waiting game of like, do I need to get a flamethrower or something? Burn the house down? I don't know. Just like let in like a fucking litter of cats.
You just gotta get a ghillie suit.
Yeah. Yeah, a ghillie suit, obviously.
Ghillie suit and sit in the kitchen and just be like, 17 hours. No mouse.
Yeah.
Waiting.
Mm-hmm.
Sitting there with just 2 traps in your hands.
Yeah.
Ready to just throw them.
Mouse trap.
Try to just catch them. Sam, what the fuck are you doing? I'm hunting. Shh.
It'll just be like the whole kitchen floor will be just mouse traps.
Yeah, it'll end up looking like the movie Mousetrap.
Yeah, exactly.
Or Hunt. Mouse Hunt.
Yeah, Mouse Hunt.
Nathan Lane
and that was the only excitement in my life.
Hey, at least you had some.
Yeah, that's true.
Hey, nothing wrong with that. Yeah, I mean, mine's just been now that I've been home. Wow. Oh, and I've been watching in the morning when I'm just kind of playing and there's not really anybody on. I'm into episode 8 of Rings of Power.
Nice.
I never actually finished it, so I was going back.
Nice. Amy just watched it.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. She liked it a lot, and she watched after that. She watched
her and I, just right there.
Exactly. And then after that, she's like, I now need to watch the extended version of Lord of the Rings, and she watched all of them in one sitting.
That's 12 hours. Hey, listen, she would do whatever she wants.
Yeah.
Not gonna tell her no.
Yeah. Makes you happy, I guess.
Yeah, I won't do that. I will finish this and be happy with where it ends.
Mm-hmm. You got like one episode left then.
Isn't it only 8? So I think I'm in the last one.
Maybe it's 8 or 9.
Yeah. So I either have one to go or I'm in the last one. One of the two. Which, if it's the last one, I really don't know how they're going to wrap everything up. So there might be one more. Do they speed wrap everything up? Because that would make sense then. If they poorly wrap everything up in like
what's happening in the episode you're in right now?
I'm trying to remember the true drop-off point. They have the stranger kidnapped or like captured the other people.
The weird fucks.
Yeah, they have him captured, and they just did the whole like role reversal trick to kill the old dude and capture the thing. And then whatever starts happening at that point, I pause so I don't see what actually caused them to turn around as she's being threatened.
That might be the last episode.
And so then I
think that is the last episode.
I saw the Balrog get created.
Oh, you are... Are you talking about Awaken? Like you saw him
see him
up?
awaken. Yeah.
Yeah, I think you're in the last episode.
You see him awaken. Mordor's been formed. They discuss the Galadriel's still trying to figure out who the King of the Southlands actually is.
Mm-hmm.
Because she just asked the person to go into the to go find the records to figure out who he actually is.
Yep.
They discussed the idea of making it a circle to do it on a crown, and then therefore, obviously, we're gonna get rings instead.
Yep. Yeah, I
But
think
yeah.
you're in the last episode. I think
Can't remember what his name is. It's bugging me now.
Hallbrand.
Yeah.
Yeah, interesting. Yeah, I mean the show definitely like the whole entire first season's strictly laying down like the groundworks. Like it's kind of interesting approach, I think.
I'm
But
curious to see what they're going to do for a season 2. Like how much further can you walk the line before you just end up in the movies? Like there's technically years worth of time, obviously, that happens.
they kind of the way that one of the storylines ends, they kind of leaves it open to like they could just go nuts.
Yeah, because that's the
And
true timeline of between that and then
you'll kind of
Hobbit happening.
All right, so there's like yeah. I mean, we can,
It's a massive timeline, and there's a lot that you can talk about and go through in that entire scenario and whatever. But there's just that line that you potentially walk where you have a finite end where you kind of you have to change the name of the movie. Or
that's kind of the whole though, and that's where they're kind of I think where they might slot in is that's for the half of Middle Earth we know of,
right? Which is the part where it gets weird, where then if you go full Silmarillion and do the other stuff, fine. But like,
yeah,
you're gonna reach a point where I think you'd still have to have part of the known Middle Earth discussion, because that's where the majority of your casual fans are sitting.
Yeah, I mean, there's a whole lot they still need to do. Numenor still needs to be destroyed. Isildur still needs to found Gondor. Like, there's like, I don't even know if they're gonna talk about the whole Lost Kingdom of Anor either. Like, that's a whole nother thing. And then where they leave off the one storyline, it's like, well, if we're going that route, then like, fucking, I don't know anymore. Like, it's just kind of like you could do whatever you wanted. So, yeah, fun stuff. You gonna watch Andor at some point, or you unsure? Yeah, you still haven't watched any of the Star Wars stuff.
I plan to watch Andor at some point. I'm gonna watch that before I watch any of the other stuff. I need to watch Witcher too.
Witcher, Blood Origin or Season 2?
Blood Origin. Season 2 I watched when it came out.
I actually am gonna skip Blood Origin.
I think I'm gonna watch it just to watch it. But I'm not. I'm gonna watch Andor first, and then I'm gonna watch, depending on like how everything lines up for myself. And Andor is my next one on my list of like things I need to watch. I'm pretty sure, and then it falls to like things that aren't out yet. Mando season 3 and whatever.
Yeah,
because I'm not watching Boba Fett. I don't think I care enough to watch it.
Yeah, the only
I know I'm gonna run into issues in Mando season 3 where I have to like go.
Well, I mean, you could almost like if you don't, you could literally watch the last like 2 or 3 episodes of Boba that just are, that just involve the Mandalorian, and you'd be fine.
Yeah, I'm sure there will also be some like summary before season 3 shows up.
Yeah,
and then I gotta finish God of War still, and I gotta do a couple other things. So the time is a little.
There's not as much free time as one would think.
Gotta watch some movies. Glass Onion, a couple others. So yeah, I have my media consumption cut out for me, and I've just been plugging away as I can.
Mm-hmm.
That's why WoW works. I can watch something at the same time usually, but like I can't watch something during God of War.
Yeah,
At least not something I would want. Not something I would want to pay attention to.
Yeah,
Like I almost had. I had it earlier too, where I was playing WoW with certain things, and I had Rings of Power on the second screen,
mm-hmm.
and I would hear something, and then I'd be like, I was listening, and then I would catch something, where I was like, wait, what? And I realized I was getting too distracted, so I like rewound it to where I knew I was, paused, and then went back to playing WoW, and then like to put myself in another like, okay, I'm not doing anything. Stay. I'll watch Rings.
Yeah.
So it's whatever. Yeah, that's all I got. Anything looking forward to the next year?
The only thing that
Anything
is
quick, I guess, because we'll obviously cover it more.
Not really. I mean, I think the first thing that will probably register is the Harry Potter game.
Yeah, that's true.
That's really it. I am. Yeah, I'll leave it at that for now because we'll cover that more.
Yeah. I think we both agree probably on our game of the year.
I don't really have a game of the year for things I've played.
I think the only thing that even comes close for me is God of War.
Yeah, I guess if I had to choose one, it would be God of War because, like, I haven't played much. The only other thing I've really played was Horizon, and that's not.
Yeah, I mean, Dragonflight's up there on my time consumption list.
Yeah.
But Horizon was good. I enjoyed it, but yeah, I think God of War is better.
Yeah, I would agree.
I still think God of War has its own issues.
I think if I
didn't play Elden Ring, so
I didn't play Elden Ring just based off of like things I've seen, based on people's reactions of it, I would just give it to Elden Ring. Just be like, it's probably just strictly on a like impact level. Elden Ring would be
a lot of fun to watch. I can't wait to potentially see more speedruns of it. So
yeah.
The one at SGDQ was pretty quick, and I'm sure they've shaved massive time off. So AGDQ here coming up in early January will be a lot of fun.
Yeah. I will say I'm low-key excited for 2023, solely because I think I'll actually be able to start playing more games again because the little guy is like a functioning...
he's older now.
A functioning human being. Like, he's starting to communicate, he can move around on his own, he can entertain himself, like...
Yeah.
So it's
becoming his own man.
Yeah, I mean, obviously he's still little, but he's like not helpless.
Yeah.
So
also, there's that tipping point though, where now he's also his greatest enemy.
Yes, that's true.
So, fine line.
Yep.
But yeah, no, I know what you mean. Yeah, I'm low key excited for 23 in the sense that like I don't know. It's the same. I think I said the same thing probably going into 22, where it's like I just need to watch myself more. Of good habits versus bad habits type of thing.
Yeah.
It's just
I would say like
I desperately need to find a way to either work out in the house or get better heat in the garage so I can actually lift or sack it so much to the point where I have a winter subscription somewhere, I think, to be able to actually lift.
I think you have a lot to be proud of, I guess, for 2022. Knowing how difficult it is to get into routines and to do like work out and stuff like that, I think it was a decently successful year for you.
Yeah, I started and stopped a lot. And that's the part where it's like I kind of want to just like try to lock it down and do a consistent thing.
Yeah. Honestly, your best bet would probably be some sort of like maybe like a wood pellet stove that you could find like secondhand or something like that.
Yeah, but even that, the kick is not. It's so weird because the kick isn't that I need it to be warm while I'm working out. It's that I need it to be warm all the time because the issue isn't the room being cold. Yeah. I can fix that with a space heater.
Yeah,
the issue
I get what you're saying. It's
the actual like bars will not unfreeze themselves without having been in ambient temperature long time type of thing.
I mean, maybe the solution is we go nuts and insulate the fuck out of it and then throw like an electric heater in there.
Yeah, I mean it is kind of insulated. I don't know. I gotta like look at it and see what I want to do.
I mean, electric heater would be the obvious choice, but then like they use a lot of power, so it's kind of like
and like I'm not worried about the power thing, but you always just do, run the fun issue of starting a fire with an electric heater and everything else. So it's
I'm thinking like a baseboard heater, not like a
Oh, yeah.
Like buy like a baseboard heater, a single baseboard heater for one side, and then maybe throw a ceiling fan or something in the top.
Yeah, but that like requires fundamentally redoing that room,
Mm-hmm.
which is possible. It's
Either
just,
way,
like,
work.
Yeah,
It's work.
there's things like that. There's other things I need to do. But yeah, just try to keep myself in a good mental shape good mental, which is difficult enough, but good physical and a better physical.
Next week we'll think on all these things.
Yeah,
we'll discuss them more
in depth. Because there's still no new games next week. There's not games until the week after that. So we will see you guys in 7 days then. Bye-bye.